Episode
58.
Man-Fish with a hyphen.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Well, it happened one time. You weren't on. It was me and Anthony, and we spent like half an hour trying to figure out my audio problems because I couldn't hear them. All my settings looked right except within Zoom. So that was the first time. That was the first place that I checked this time, and sure enough, that's what it was.
Yeah. What's up?
Not to brag or anything, but right when this podcast was supposed to start, I had about 4 different text threads that just popped up out of nowhere. So
Text threats? What?
Yeah, text threats. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you." Text threads.
Oh.
From important people or just annoyances?
Oh no, it's all important friends and things like that, but it's just I'm sitting here all evening and afternoon and it's quiet and I'm reading, playing video games, and I'm like, all right, it's podcast time, and all of a sudden, like, there's a bunch of people who want my attention.
So yeah, as soon as it's showtime, everybody
showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring them into the feed here, and then we can all just talk.
There you go. Send them an invite. You know, on Facebook, you know, we got.
I don't think any of these people would do it. So
we got a like when I put that we're going to be on in a little bit from Mike. Cedarburg Mike.
A like from Mike.
Yeah, a like from Mike. I don't think he's gonna join us though.
Probably not. Mike, if you're listening or watching, you're probably not joining us.
But he should. He's been invited several times. He talked about joining the club, but he wanted to get caught up on some of his reading first so that he knew what we were talking about. But I think he added things on so much that he actually got further and further behind instead of catching up. So he never really did get to the point where he could join us, although he could have just caught up on like club picks and things like that, and he'd have been fine.
But no, it's just a like from Mike, and then it just stops there.
Yeah, and then Damon last night, talked to him about it, but he's in bed by now, so.
It's past his bedtime, huh?
Yeah. You know, those high school students, they got to get to bed early so they can get up for school.
Yeah, he's got a basket weaving class early, like 9 a.m.
Is it an underwater basket weaving or just above ground or?
Are the baskets underwater or is the class underwater?
The whole thing underwater, so it's a whole extra skill to have to weave underwater. So
it's an underwater class for making baskets that are above ground.
Yes.
So what's new with this?
Wait. This week? Do I hear something?
Heck is that?
WoodChuck Norris. He pops up when there's bad puns.
Oh.
I have no idea what that is.
How much wood would a woodchuck Norris chuck if a woodchuck Norris could chuck wood?
It was in one of Shelley's doctor's books.
So what is that? Is that when you first held it up, I thought you got yourself a new comic, but it's
No, it's just a,
just
a
okay.
page from one of her books at work that she brought home.
Okay.
I figure every time there's a dad joke or something, I might have to whip out a WoodChuck Norris.
You might as well just keep it up.
Yeah, you could probably just put the graphic of it in the corner or something. And
Maybe you could
there's
make
probably a
it
spot on
your, you could make it your Zoom background.
Yeah, I'm not that smart.
Put it behind your head.
Then I'd have them kicking my head. It's like,
Shelly can stand right next to you just off camera, and just every time she feels that it's deserving, she can just like hold it, on screen.
Gives her something to do for once.
I know.
So Anthony, did you happen to read a new vampire story?
Read a new vampire story.
Done by Allred?
A new vampire story?
Well, it's an old one, but new to us. Citizen Nocturne, boy.
Well, I have all those issues. That's just a collection, so because that's from.
I already read it then.
I mean, I didn't reread that thing, but I've read the original ones.
Oh, you're right. I thought it was something new to you, and I just sat here and spent the last 2 hours and I read it.
No, that's from the graphic music, which I can't reach without like breaking a rib. But yeah, so
It doesn't turn around.
yeah, if only I needed a swivel chair. But yeah, so it's the graphic music 3 issues that are collected in that. So that's why I didn't know what the Citizen thing was, because I think that must be what the title of the inside story or something, or one of the chapters.
No, I don't know. If you read the back of the book, it tells you that this is his second story, and graphic music came later, but I don't know. You would know more than me. So.
Yeah, graphic music was first, and then he did graphic music, which was a 4-issue series.
Because according to the person who wrote this, it says Dead Air is his first, and then graphic music.
Yeah, Dead Air is his graphic novel, and then but between the graphic music and graphic music is first.
And they're completely unrelated, those two.
They're yeah, so they're basically an anthology series. We see Frank, because in there too somewhere we get the Creatures of the Id with Frank Einstein, and then in graphic music we get Frank Einstein pop up in there, and then that's where all like the Madman stuff starts to really kick off. So
yeah, it was decent. I liked it.
but yeah, I read that beginning of the year, maybe, I think so. I just I didn't have the collection until now.
All right.
Yep.
Sometime during this podcast, I'll expect a loud crashing noise, as Abby is exploring some dangerous territories. She only seems to be going where there's a lot of things to knock over.
And for those watching or listening that don't know, maybe this is their first episode, because as Stan Lee always said, every podcast is somebody's first podcast. Abby is your wife? Is that what?
No, Abby is my daughter.
Oh,
my 4-legged furry daughter.
no judgment here.
I think it's because the Aurora Borealis is close right now.
David
Because-
Boreanaz?
our cat's being a freak too tonight, and going up on top of everything.
Well, I was nice. I actually was like, you know what? About 20 minutes into this thing, she's gonna start like making noise at the door, trying to get let in here. And so I'm just gonna call her down here. I'll let her in right away. You know, she can sit on my lap or do whatever, which she started out doing. And now she's just trying to find some trouble, I guess.
That's my cat at 4 a.m. every morning.
Yep. Our cat, I don't think she's gotten over the full moon, or he hasn't gotten over the full moon this month yet.
I think he's just a jerk.
Yeah.
See, now usually my cats give Tammy, who is my wife, the full moon. Because they'll hop up in bed and have me petting them, and then they turn around and give her the backside.
That's because she's the one that has to clean the poop chute every now and then. That's Shelly's job.
She wants a kiss. Yeah. She's always
My
got
cats are stuffed.
Do you have cats, stuffed or otherwise, or you just? I know you have a cat-like thing that is stuffed.
Yeah, they're all plush. So they weren't formerly living.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe we should refer to them as plush rather than stuffed. You know,
So
we should start talking about stuffed things. People think other thoughts.
Stuffed cats, stuffed peppers, you know.
they're calling you a cat welder.
Welding cats.
Yeah, welding cats on the people. Dead cat.
Yeah, that would be a real. I'm trying to think of a dad joke pun, but I can't think of one.
That's because WoodChuck Norris is standing by.
Yeah, now I'm nervous.
You're intimidated.
I'll never say one again, just so I don't get the woodchuck in the face. Speaking of raccoons, so there's been a very giant raccoon that's been kind of hanging around my house, and there was one night when I was pulling into the driveway, and I kind of have a little little pathway to get to one of my doors, so it's kind of its own little like alleyway type of thing. And thankfully, it was at night because once I pulled up, I was able to see with my headlights. All of a sudden, this thing was hanging by my door, and it just scurried out. If I wouldn't have seen that, or if I'd parked on the street and walked up, I would have had an entanglement with a pretty giant raccoon at night.
It would have been walking around wearing an Anthony hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been seeing him or her a couple times over the last like couple weeks, and this morning I saw it, and it basically scurried and went into the sewer, going into like the drain and stuff. But it's crazy, just like it's like a mouse, you know. It could be a giant mouse, but then it could fit through, you know, like a pinhole or something. And that was like this raccoon. It was so huge, and then it just zoop disappeared.
Those are fluffy.
Yeah.
I don't know where you
That's
live.
probably it. They're just fluffy. It's not really that big. It's a lot of fur.
I don't know your address or anything. I haven't been leaving sausages and stuff from the Eaton's Pizzas lay around outside your yard at all at night. So.
Well, we like to attract the raccoons because we compost a lot of stuff, and so sometimes when people aren't feeling like running all the way out to the back corner of our backyard to take the compost out to the compost pile, it'll get put in a little bag, like a shopping bag. We'll say like a Piggly Wiggly bag, even though it's Walmart or Pick and Save or something. And it'll get hung out the back door with the intention of, well, eventually we'll take it down there. But usually what happens is it gets forgotten about, and then I walk out to go to work, and there's not much left of the bag, but there'll be a pile of whatever the raccoon didn't eat laying right underneath it.
And a little toy surprise off to the side.
Maybe, I don't know. They don't usually keep those laying around. I guess they don't poop where they eat. So,
Like action figures and stuff. Is that what we're talking about?
yeah.
Toy surprise.
Yes. We do have a possum, or is it an opossum? I don't know. At some point in my life, it's like Pluto was no longer a planet, and possums had an O on them. Like they're Irish possums. They're opossums. But we've got one of those that's been frequenting our yard as well, and it's a pretty round possum. That's where the O comes. It describes the shape of it, and short little legs. And maybe they're all like this. I honestly haven't seen that many walking around, but this one, it's big. It's gotta have like a sore belly from rubbing on the ground because it's got these short little legs, and it waddles. It just does this little waddle thing where it just kind of waddles across the ground. But yeah, it's been frequenting the yard too. So when we leave the food out for the stray cats, there's usually nothing left in the dish in the morning. But we can usually tell if it's emptied by the possum or by the raccoon, because if the possum empties it, it's just the empty bowl sitting there. If the raccoon empties it, the bowl is about 2 feet away and flipped over. So for some reason, the raccoon can't just take the food and go. It has to, like throw the bowl across the driveway or
Make a mess.
whatever. Yeah.
Gotta get a little motion camera. It's the best $35 I spent. That thing's lasted us 3 years. Got some pretty cool pictures of the critters messing around at night.
Yeah, we've discussed that. I don't know why we haven't just done it, because we want to see how many cats are actually like coming around our yard. Because there's the ones that we see all the time, but we know from trapping that there's other ones that we don't see. Because half the cats we trap and we're like, well, we've never seen this guy before, because they probably come all the time. They're just coming at like 3 a.m. or whatever. They have their schedules. The ones we know tend to come at certain times of the day. So we probably have that 3 a.m. or just before sunrise cat that comes along or whatever. And so we've caught a couple of those. So we do the trap and release thing where we catch them, we take them in, we get their balls whacked off, and send them
Nice.
back.
Yeah.
To live happily ever after, with no more happily ever afters. Of the cats that we've trapped and released, I think only like 1 or 2 of them's been a female. So
At least none of them have ticks, since you got the big opossum in the yard.
Yeah, possums are awesome.
They eat tons of ticks.
awesome possum.
Did somebody say the tick?
I was gonna say, Christ, he's got a possum character too.
Boon.
Yeah,
Great shoulder flexing action.
yeah, I have that same one somewhere. I don't know. Never really worked that well. I mean, the idea was you press down the thing on the back and it's supposed to hop, but it didn't.
That was great when you see the discoloration in the chest. And
yeah.
He was rubbing against shirtless bear fire a little too much.
there's a madman that's like that too. He's kind of has a pink chest.
The Anthony playing with the 3 characters.
Quite the adventures over here.
Yes. Yeah. Shirtless bear fighter's got a tick.
Pretty mad, man.
Yep. Madman sneaks up behind him, and then it's a nervous tick.
I think David's going to be winning the WoodChuck Award today. So
Anybody the blueberry Christmas pizza yet?
yeah. Have you?
We had it yesterday.
And
It was okay. It's like Shelly said, they should have done like a graham cracker crust instead of their normal pizza crust.
The blueberries were really good.
But the whole topping was really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the lemon stuff, it was just
it's
kind of
like
weird.
blueberries, some lemon and cream stuff, and then chunks of chunks of graham crackers
Yeah.
on top.
But the pizza crust.
But the
made it
crust
weird.
just made it taste a little odd, but it was still good. But the thing that did pan out was Dragon's fire breathing peppers in the dragon breath cheese. That was really good. I had a piece of it today. And
That's what they put on the blueberry Christmas pizza.
no, they sell all kinds of oddball stuff there. But it's like a slow linger, and then it hits you. It's nice. If you like a spicy cheese.
Yeah, I've still never been eating pizza at Eaton Pizza.
Oh, we gotta get you down there. They even upgraded the facility now. You go in and they got little touch screens to place your order. You don't get to talk to them to place your order now.
I don't want to touch screens that other people have touched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want to talk in between
That
the two
doesn't seem
people, which didn't
healthy.
make sense to me. But I had my gloves on.
Do they put the cover on it like some places now have the little covers over like their the card reader, like when you pay at a store with your debit or credit card, so they put the little disposable cover things on them, but they never change them.
Yeah, they didn't have the cover on it, and they didn't wipe it down in between people using it either. So I don't know what the sense of it being better is doing, but
So did they have these spaced 6 feet apart?
yeah, well, I'd say more like 3 feet apart because there was 3 on the one counter. So.
yeah, to eliminate all that extra like finger touching and stuff, that's why I usually press the buttons with my tongue, and it just kind of hits out the middle. So
Much better idea.
thinking,
Yeah. Well, it's like some people started, instead of doing handshakes and stuff, they're doing weird things like elbow bumping and stuff like that, which is fine. But I'm the kind of person that touches my face a lot with my elbow, so I could spread it that way too.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I do a lot more like French kissing now, just kind of, once again, just concentrating on the tongue. So
And how does French kissing yourself work exactly?
not good.
My cat does that sometimes.
I did watch. Have either of you? I think Kerby has AP Bio.
I watched the first season, I believe.
So I had subscribed to Peacock, and I watched all 3 current seasons, and that reminded me there is a scene where 2 of the guys want to practice kissing, so they do like hand mouths, but they kiss each other's hand mouth. So they're like standing there at their lockers, and they're both like making out with each other's hands and like really getting into it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that in like a Kevin Smith movie or something?
Only you know where I've been.
They had another one too where they wanted to practice taking off bras. So they got into like a janitor closet at school, and one of them was being like, "Is that your sister's bra?" It's like, "Oh yeah." And then he talked about like his mom getting surgery and having cancer and all this stuff, and then it got like real like serious. And they're like, "Oh, you didn't tell me, how you doing?" and blah blah blah. And it was this real intimate moment where they're sharing feelings, and then they're hugging each other while still wearing the bras over each other. And as they're hugging, Then they're slowly starting to try to remove each other's bras. So
Yeah. Was it like, is that your sister's bra? Because that's exactly the one that I'm trying to figure out how to undo.
yeah, it really make it a lot easier. So. Yep. And I just finished all of Saved by the Bell. There's new season, 10 episodes. So I've fulfilled my Peacock. Get that woodchuck ready.
If it wasn't intentional, but it still happened and somebody laughs, you still pull it off.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched between AP Bio and Saved by the Bell, and they have all the old SNLs on there and stuff too. And I'm only going to keep it for a month until more stuff comes back on. But part of me wanted to just watch an old SNL every Saturday because I don't see the new ones until Sunday morning on Hulu, and just to like start in like probably the 80s or something, kind of get through a lot of the rough stuff that I've got a lot of the early ones on DVD, and they're a little harder to sit through these days. But so a lot of Peacock over here at this household.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've even watched the older ones.
Then you get to see the old Caddyshack gang.
And I couldn't tell you the last time I actually watched a new episode of Saturday Night Live.
Mine would have been, what's today? 3 days ago.
Yeah, I can't think of the last one. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Harley was still on it.
So it's only been like 25 years for you guys.
Yeah.
It's like we watch the Will Ferrell ones every year.
Will Ferrell.
No, it's like what? Eddie Murphy's leaving?
Yep.
I finally got through the first season of Cobra Kai and probably about 4 or 5 episodes into the second. Still rough, but it got a little bit.
Right?
What's that?
I think they just announced the third. I don't know if it's coming in beginning of the year or something.
Someone posted it on our men's MS site. I told them to read the comic. It's way better.
Yeah, that's another thing I get around to watching. See, pretty soon I got 2 weeks off of work coming up, and so I've got all kinds of ideas on how I could spend my time, and I'm probably not going to get any of it done.
Just gonna sit around and watch a bunch of crap.
Oh no. I'll end up working on things around the house or whatever, and think, oh yeah, I gotta hurry up and get this done so I can, watch all 2 or 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, or get some podcasts edited and put up, or do this and that, and then it'll be I had to clear out the garage, or clean the basement, or paint a bedroom, or
You're cutting cats' balls off.
yeah.
I hope he's not doing it.
Castrating cats and throwing them off. No.
But, you just put a rubber band around there, leave it.
Yeah, let them walk around for a couple days.
Yeah.
Cat's got blue balls.
Yeah. I know. I just picked them up off the floor.
Speaking of blue balls,
Yeah. Except the tick doesn't have that, digitized blur thing going on in his crotch.
they call it the dixilation in the comics. Huh? Guess it would be a tixilation.
Now, if anybody actually listens to this podcast or watches it on YouTube, and they've gone through a couple different episodes, I would be amazed if they hadn't at least sought out Shirtless Bear Fighter just to see what this is that you're talking about.
It's so good. 5 issue.
You never read it, right? You didn't get that one, so
Nope. I'm slowly getting sucked into the weirdness that is Anthony.
Yep, 5-issue miniseries about a guy. His first name is Shirtless. His last name is Bear Fighter. And he is indeed a shirtless bear fighter raised by bears. That plays into part of the story as well. He gets very upset. He loves having flapjacks for breakfast, but he gets very upset if you refer to them as pancakes. He pretty much just goes berserk. So,
How about wheat cakes? Can you call them wheat cakes? Like would he just go apeshit on Aunt May?
Only Aunt May can say it. She gets a pass.
So I'm finally getting into Murder Falcon. That's coming up here within one of the next couple comics that I read or will be reading.
Actually, maybe Shirtless Bear Fighter can confront Aunt May about the wheat cake thing in the next Spider-Man movie, because isn't he going to be in that too?
Yeah, so we're gonna have
everybody's in that.
Gonna have all the Aunt Mays are gonna be in there, all the wheat cakes and all that stuff.
Are they all doing it?
So over the last couple of days or hours at this point, we are getting a lot of confirmation about everyone that's going to be showing up in the untitled Spider-Man 3.
Right.
Some home-related title, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I've seen some things where it's like I'm not sure if it's confirmed or it's not, because some sources talk about it like it's been confirmed, and I've heard other places it's not quite confirmed. Alfred Molina, I'm not sure it's been actually confirmed yet, but he's widely being reported as being in it. I've also heard that that they've kind of leaked that because they're trying to, because they're working on getting him signed, so they're just trying to kind of push him to do it. So Charlie Cox is the big one that's now being reported.
Big one.
So Daredevil, although I don't know if Daredevil will be, because some of the reports are saying that Matt Murdock will be Peter Parker's attorney, and that's how he's going to play into that. Although his 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is, that's up. So yep. I mean, they can use these characters from the Netflix, MCU Netflix things. They can put them in shows, movies, whatever. That time is up.
Yeah, it feels like definitely a thing that we would probably see Matt Murdock just enough to establish it, get people excited, and then just launching off from there. But
because then there would finally be a more substantial link from those Netflix shows to the rest of the MCU, other than just saying, the big green guy or whatever.
Incident from New York,
Yeah, because they wouldn't actually name anybody. There's no mention of Captain America or Tony Stark or whatever.
And one of the craziest ones, it went into Cloak and Dagger, where Luke Cage was brought up on there through a newspaper. And we had that little, he opened up the paper and Luke Cage was on the front of the paper or something. So they had that little bit so that the television side of things, weaved its way in there, while Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of went off, actually up this way into space.
Right. Well, I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. initially had some crossover stuff, like the first couple of seasons, you have that early
Sif would be in it.
Yeah, she popped up once or twice in there.
He would show up.
You'd have something, but of course the biggest crossover type thing in there was with Winter Soldier, that whole thing where S.H.I.E.L.D. It was revealed that they had been run by Hydra. That was kind of the biggest crossover, I think, between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the MCU.
We did have a Thanos mention in the penultimate season, I believe. There was a light mention of Thanos, but as far as the events, that was all kind of glossed over. But when you read comics and you get that, you get your mentions here and there, but ultimately you know, just telling your own little story, and especially when they're all, done by different people, so you don't have certain, TV people that know anything that's going on in the movies and vice versa. Whereas now Kevin Feige is watching over everything, so when it comes to a Charlie Cox and to the Spider-Man movies, it's all going to be orchestrated and his puppet strings.
For a lot of the people who watched some of these shows, that was kind of a disappointment, was that there wasn't more of a connection. And for the people who didn't watch the shows, for some of them, that was part of the reason why, is that they were afraid of there being too much of a connection. You'd have people that were afraid to watch a show like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if they hadn't gone out and seen every MCU film that was out there, because they thought they'd be lost. Even though, for the most part, you could watch it. I think really even in some of the shows that tied into the MCU, I'm thinking a lot of that you could have watched, not having watched, Avengers or anything else.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the fans, I think that people were expecting more. You were expecting Nick Fury to show up for more than 5 seconds in one episode or whatever. You thought, okay, you know what? They'll throw Nick Fury in every once in a while because they have to. He's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. This Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's his thing. They gotta have him in there every once in a while. And I think that was it, wasn't it? Wasn't he just? I think he only popped up the one.
Yeah, just the once. I think.
That very brief cameo.
If anything, it would be 2 times at the very most.
Yeah, or they could just watch all the movies and stuff, skip all the crappy series, and enjoy their life a little bit more, and have lots of time on their hands.
And then you have the DC stuff where everything on TV was completely unrelated to what was playing in theaters, and yet they didn't want to have the same characters. Oh, we don't want to put Batman on TV because that'll confuse people. Because audiences are stupid. They're not going to understand that this Batman is not the same as this Batman, But eventually they had to, when they started using other characters like Flash. So you had to have 2 versions at that point. Early on, before anything was announced, there were a lot of people that thought, oh, we're going to have our CW Flash making appearance on the big screen when they put the Justice League together, and that was very quickly, denied and said, no, we're not going to do that. This is going to be completely different. So.
And little did we know we would get movie Flash showing up on TV Flash.
You know what? That did happen. So
I don't think anyone thought that was happening, and it was pretty cool. It was fun.
So,
but yeah, that's where I'm a fan of. You can get into the weeds of how many characters they're adding. There's so many characters and only so much movie. But at this point, especially in an established universe of 25 plus movies at this point, by the time that movie comes out. I just say throw it all at the wall and let's have fun. So anyone's confused, they can watch it again.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice, going back to the MCU to be able to watch a Spider-Man movie that's a Spider-Man movie rather than a Marvel team-up movie. But at the same time, I personally like the connection. I like that it's one universe and everything kind of fits together as long as they planned it far enough in advance. Obviously there was some early stuff where they didn't have enough of it planned out to be able to do that. So you see some problems there. Yeah. But they came up with excuses like, oh no, that wasn't really the Infinity Gauntlet.
Fake. But yeah, I think with Kevin Feige's name still at the top, after everything we've gotten, I think it's fair to trust in Feige, and in Feige we trust. The worst case scenario, if you don't like the movie, then you don't have to watch it again. So me, I'll watch it 12 more times that weekend. So
I didn't see you last night on John's podcast thingy with Franco and stuff. I kind of figured you'd be there. I was having computer problems. I popped in about halfway through, but they brought up about the whole HBO Go thing. And apparently you can't get HBO Go with Roku.
HBO Max or
whatever the thing is that's going to be with the movies coming out at the same time.
HBO Max, I think.
Is it HBO Max? But apparently I can't
I
get
like HBO Go. That sounds better though.
well, that is a thing though. I think
Is it?
There's a HBO Go.
I
just
think
don't.
HBO
Go
Go
like an app for mobile, you watch it on your phone or something.
I think Now and Go might have just all consolidated, but there was a Now and a Go and a Then and a Where.
Now and later.
Yeah.
My
HBO, whatchamacallit.
I'm basically apparently screwed out of getting that. And I don't know if I thought my Xbox was basically a Roku system too. So I have to look at that unless I want to watch it on a tablet. But don't really want to watch movies on a small screen.
Yeah.
It did sound good for a while there.
I want to get back to watching movies on the big screen. Which, I mean, I have been able to watch a few movies, but it's been not new movies so much as older movies. Like back over the summer when you get to go watch some Lord of the Rings movie. Not like the rest of my family that watched all three of them, extended versions, back to back.
Sounds horrible.
I think you're going to see at least a half a dozen new outdoor theaters pop up this spring. Because I think that's going to be the big thing this next year.
Yeah. But even the old theater on the downtown, I forget what they're calling it these days, but they're doing that. They've got I want to say they're showing movies like Home Alone and what else they got? Probably like Gremlins. I think Lethal Weapon was one of them. Whatever, some Christmas movies. Christmas Story, I think, is one that they're doing.
Is that a Christmas movie though?
Well, it's a Christmas story.
Okay. It's just a book. They put words up on the screen and
Yeah.
I could go watching Gremlins in theater again. That'd be...
Oh yeah, I think that might have been one of them.
Speaking of Gremlins, keep talking. I'll be back.
What can we say about Anthony?
Yeah. Speechless. I can't think of anything to say because I'm too curious about what he's doing that has to do with Gremlins, although it might not have anything to do with Gremlins.
He's checking up on his hidden little person in the back bedroom that he's got locked up.
He's got to go feed the raccoon, which sounds like a euphemism. Gotta go feed the raccoon.
I'm gonna have to swing by his house, leave some treats out for him.
Unless they're Rice Krispie treats, I don't want them.
That raccoons like Rice Krispies.
I did mention raccoon. This is what it was actually.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's a Predator from.
This
I
is
mean,
a big one.
that's messed up because you can't even say I have a life-size gremlin. I got a 10-time life-size gremlin.
Right.
Yeah, this one's quite large.
That's why I thought maybe it was the Predator from the comic that Damon was talking about, where they're going to do the
Spike School.
the original screenplay or whatever of it. And we were commenting on how the Predator looks like a gremlin.
Yep.
Somebody fed him after midnight.
Oh yeah.
How often do you feed them after midnight?
Every night. Five times after midnight. So 12:01, 12:02, 12:03, 12:04. Take a little break at 12:05, but then 12:06 again. So yep, that was it. I gotta put him somewhere where he's not gonna break something.
So what kid did you beat up and steal that from at the fair?
It was gifted to me from somebody else that I think got it at a fair or saw it at like Valley Village or something in Milwaukee. All I know is that it cost me nothing.
That was actually a kid. He saw trick or treating. He hit him in the head with a rock, and it's
You're mine now. I'm the collector.
Not only do I stuff cats, but stuff gremlins as well. So
You'd see him just running around the streets during Halloween, just stealing different kids and different costumes.
yeah, he's just looking for all the costumes he likes and grabs them.
That's-
Kid and all.
Their family does have a museum and stuff. Some things are starting to click here.
Yep.
Yes, the Latch Family Children's Museum.
Yep. History of Kewaskum, the horrors that we heard, the rumors.
Or yeah, I mean, part of that museum, if you dim the lights, whatever, it looked like it could be a good setting for a horror movie. Some of those old tools and things like that they've got in there.
Sickles.
The Wisconsin Chainsaw Massacre.
Got the goat head in one of the parts of the museum. Goat man.
So Kerby, there's a new logo for something for your podcast.
Oh,
I happened to, for those watching here, I happened to see a logo pop up on a screen here.
I don't know where the hell that came from.
Yeah.
I know because I saw the ant.
Oh, that's on there.
Yeah, I saw the ant that's drawn.
Oh
on.
yeah, there it is.
Gotta be some copyright thing going on there.
There's an ant crawling on your shoulder.
Are you doing a under the cowl logo too?
Well, he paid me $1,000. So if you,
Well, for $1,000, it sounds like you should be doing a logo for under the cowl too.
He did. You just gotta take the MS part out. All MS.
Little Photoshop in there. Let me just steal a copy of that off the internet.
yeah, just be
Photoshop
a
it.
picture of Kerby for this podcast then too. So maybe change the orange to red for the background.
Well, no, I was thinking. I mean, that would be fitting because originally it was me, you, and Kurt. And Kurt was in like 3 episodes for about 2 minutes each. So, and then Kurt stopped sticking around on Wednesdays to do them. So then a lot of them I use a version of that without Kurt in it. But lately it's been the 3 of us. So now I got to add Kerby into there.
And then just a word balloon off of the corner. That's Shelly. So
Yeah.
Yeah, cackle, cackle, cackle.
Cackle, cackle.
And then we keep hearing these rumors that Kurt's going to make this appearance for the Christmas or the New Year's episodes.
I didn't hear that.
where'd that rumor come from? Is he going to be in Spider-Man as well?
Kerby, he just started that rumor.
There we go. Pass it along.
Going somehow. Can't make it real unless you start it.
Yep.
Everything just started out as a rumor.
That's how life started. Life was a rumor. Now here we are.
Yeah. So I've gotten absolutely nowhere. Speaking of all the things that I'm not going to get done in my 2 weeks off, part of the reason I can see that happening is because over the last couple of weeks, I've been working on a project around the house that I've gotten very little accomplished. That would be cleaning out a bedroom so that
Tammy, you
one
know?
of my kids can move into it. Yeah, finally. Like, Tammy, you get your own bedroom now.
Now you're in the basement. So.
Aren't your kids having kids by now? You'll be taking those pretty soon.
I don't think that any of my kids are ready to be doing that yet. I think even my oldest one has some growing up to do before.
Well, they're not ready. That's why it happens now.
Yeah.
Never
If they
happens.
were ready, it wouldn't happen. But no, my oldest is no longer at home, so we're giving his room to one of my other children who's had a small room. He gets to upgrade. But I've got a.
Finally, my big brother left, and I'm 18 years old. I get a room for 6 months.
Only 17.
He outgrew the other.
And he's going to live with us till he's 30.
The whole time.
But yeah, I got some cleaning up in there to do, and then we've got to paint it and everything else. So that's been a project that's getting very little done.
Where do you move to?
Because I keep saying, I'm going to work on it tomorrow night when I get home from work, and I get done with work like 3 hours late and come home and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing anything.
I got 10 projects going and getting very little of each one done too. But I finally got a solar outside light hung, and piece of shit don't work.
Well, it might just not be charged.
It's the first day, so see what happens. Tomorrow works.
Does it have a protective film that you have to take off of it so it can actually absorb the solar?
I don't know. I might have to check that out tomorrow.
The damn thing doesn't
They
work.
had a good, nice spot of sun hitting it all afternoon. But
Do you think it's meant for the inside of the shoe at all? You know, sole or?
Okay, where's the woodchuck?
I knew I had to get one in there.
Well, the other thing to check is some of those solar powered lights and stuff, because they'll have like an actual battery or something, and the solar thing is just charging the battery. So you might want to look to make sure that the battery doesn't have something like.
yeah,
Sometimes you get electronic devices that come with batteries, but they've got the little slip in there that you have to pull
I
out.
threw the instruction away with the box. I was pissed because I went, all I wanted was a plug in the wall, outdoor sensor light. All they had, it was like 5 different ones you can wire into the wall, but none with a plug in. And of course, the only person working in the light department of Menards, which has the biggest light display in all of West Bend, is a little old lady that when I ask her where their outdoor flood sensor lights are, walks me over to some floodlights in boxes that I could buy. She's like, I don't know nothing about that.
They do though. I swear they have at least one light over there for every house in West Bend.
Yeah, I've never seen so many lights in one store. It's just crazy.
And they're all turned on.
Yeah, and a guy was even fixing one because the light bulb went off when I was there, so he climbed the ladder to replace the light bulb.
Yeah. I don't know if Menards owns We Energies or.
They gotta have a pricey little bill. I don't think any of those lights even are LEDs.
I don't know the last time I was in the Menards.
We don't go as much as
No,
that.
I don't know when the last time you were in Menards either.
Oh, see, that's what I was asking. So, Kerby, do you know?
I went there looking for you, but you weren't there.
Well, came here for the answers, but I'm gonna have to go to the other podcast and see if anybody knows.
Well, it's some weird guy walking around in the back room, but I couldn't find him.
No, before we bought a house, we used to go there all the time. Tammy and I would go there and we'd just look at stuff and go, yeah, when we get a house, this is what we're gonna do, and all this stuff. And then we bought a house, and
And then you couldn't afford it.
Stuff that we have to do, and very little of what we want to do. When we moved into this place, our bedroom carpet is this ugly pink color. If you could puke pink, that would be the color. And you probably could. It depends on what you eat. But we're like, okay, as soon as we can afford it, we're getting rid of this carpet and putting another one in. We've been here for about 9 years now, and we still have that ugly pink carpet in our room. So
No,
We didn't hear anything. Oh yeah, it was really.
it's no big deal. It's just
They were maybe they were racing.
it's a road. People drive down it. And they go. They might go fast. Got people racing apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if Kirby's okay. He's moving again. He froze up for a second there.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about people racing down the road, and I thought maybe somebody racing down the road and hit something, and you lost your internet connection.
They drove through my living room, took me out.
I mean, they might have been driving by fast, but
Yeah, I didn't hear
no.
them.
I didn't hear.
You worry so much.
Now we're all froze up.
Yeah.
I
I
have
actually
no.
was looking at Anthony because I thought maybe he was too for a second. Kirby froze up. Now Anthony's froze up. Maybe it's actually on my end.
David's passing the virus around. Speaking of that, did any of you guys lose your sense of taste or smell?
Tammy and Katie both did for a little while.
Are they hungrier without the sense of taste?
I don't know because I don't know so much about Katie. I know Tammy was eating. Like there's a lot of times that we were eating. And I think I would just eat because there was food or whatever, but Tammy was like, yeah, I'm gonna go make some she got on like a tater tot kick or whatever, potato products, fries and stuff like that. She was always making a bag of some sort of fries or tater tots or little crispy crown things or whatever.
Awesome.
And so we ate a lot of those crispy COVID crowns.
Amy lost her taste too, but she's hungry all the time with it. And it's like, it sucks because if I lost my taste, I'd just eat a ton of healthy crap for once in my life. You're supposed to cook those.
What? These?
Yeah.
Like in the microwave?
Yeah. Oh, your air fryer.
I sold that. They
You
taste.
couldn't figure out how to use it?
I just eat them right out of the bag.
So actually, talking about trips to Menards and air fryers. So we were at Menards and we saw they had, because everybody's got their Black Friday deals that they've had for weeks now. And one of the things, they had these air fryers at Menards, and I forget what they were. Good deal on it, but they had two different sizes, and one of them small. I was like, this is going to be too small. We're not going to cook anything in there. But Tammy didn't want to spend the money for the one that we actually could have used, even though it was a decent price. And so I was looking at paint with Ethan, and Tammy's over there putting the air fryer in the cart, but she grabbed the small one, and she didn't understand how small this thing was until she got home and used it. It's like single serving air fryer.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine, if you're
Single.
you only
Super
run around and you're just making yourself something to eat. But when you've got a family of
one piece of chicken,
4 or 5 or whatever we have now, it's difficult to do that. You're like making for each person individually at a time, and you got to wait for them. Like, okay, yours is up.
Did you explain to her that if she would have bought the bigger air fryer, it would have costed way less electricity to make the dinner? instead of cooking about 20 times with a little air fryer.
She just had to buy some other little appliance thing that's gonna get stuck on a shelf somewhere and not get used.
That sucks because the air fryers are awesome.
Yeah, I love our air fryer. I just want the big one because, like you said, you need more room, more people. It's just nice to be able to cook two things at once instead of one at a time. The other one's cold by the time you get the other one done.
I mean, it's fine if you're, doing your own thing,
Yeah.
somebody else is around or whatever. Sometimes we do eat on other schedules or work schedules or whatever. So if she has a night where she's getting done at 8:30 at night and we all ate already and she wants to come home and throw some frozen potato products in the air fryer for herself, and then she can do that, and it would work for that. For family, not so much.
I could have just bought Anthony's.
Well, then
I use mine.
what would Anthony use? See, now Anthony, he would be fine with the little air fryer.
Yeah.
I don't know what size his is, but
Mine's probably.
You should have the normal standard egg like I got, don't you?
Yeah, it's like a.
Yep. You can throw a bag of fries in it or whatever.
Basically, it fits one burger. Two, the second one would be hanging off in the side a little bit. So.
But again, something like that works for somebody where it's just you, as long as you're not feeding the guy in the closet, at the same time.
Now, if you just walk across the street, catch yourself a couple panfish, come home, fillet them up, throw them in there. Works pretty good for that.
Panfish, are those like pansexual fish? What is that?
I don't know. I don't really question that. I mean, I'll eat. I don't care what the fish are attracted to.
They all look the same to me. I can't tell what sex they are until you cut them open if they have eggs.
And then you get caviar bonus, which I've never had. So apparently I haven't had a female fish, at least not one that had.
Well, you've had female, you just haven't had their eggs.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe every single fish that I've ever eaten has been a male fish.
Yeah, I've overheard him at Applebee's saying, "Yeah, I'll take the fish. It better be male."
Give me some man fish.
Man fish. Is that
Hey,
man fish?
Is it what?
I said you're not missing out on caviar. It's nasty. Got to have a good strong drink to go with it to chase it down.
No, see, what you're eating the wrong caviar. You need the caviar that's like $500 a jar.
I did when I was a little kid. I was probably 10, 12, 14 years old.
27.
my godmother's husband, I forget what fish he had it from, but he cut it open and put it out, and it actually tasted like, I don't know, kind of like buttered bread. And it didn't taste nasty at all. But then when I bought it in the store one time, it was just salty, nasty. So I don't know if it's different fresh from the fish and canned or what.
Maybe it wasn't $500 one or $5,000.
Well, he said it was really good caviar.
See, I always thought, I was always considering caviar because I figure I like hamburgers and, milk, all coming from the cow. So I figured, why not caviar? So
It doesn't come from the cow.
did I get a woodchuck for that one?
Yeah. No, but maybe caviar, and maybe that was the thing when you had it fresh from the fish, it tasted a lot different than what's been sitting in a jar on a store shelf for who knows how long. I had some friends took me out for sushi once, and we weren't, anywhere around the coast, and I didn't like it. And they told me, don't judge sushi by this place. It was bad sushi and whatever. And then they're from places like Hawaii and California and whatever. And saying, yeah, the stuff that we are used to eating, it's fresh and whatever. When the stuff is traveling thousands of miles away from where it was caught and whatever, it's been, it's not fresh and everything. So it's just not the same. I don't know, because I probably won't eat sushi fresh caught out of the ocean, as I'm sitting on the shore. But maybe caviar is the same way.
I can't remember the name of the show, but if you watch that one show that would catch the giant fish, and they'll sit there and have the perfect tuna, and they'll sell it to the caviar places. And it's like every half hour or so, the price of their fish goes down by like $1,000. It's like they got to get it to them as soon as possible to get that top price caviar, and then it gets shipped down the road. Yeah. They have a special of caviar this week at Sendik's. I seen when I was there yesterday.
I had a goldfish once. I never tried to get any eggs out of it, though.
Did you see the goldfish they found in that pond today?
No.
That thing was the size of, I'd say,
A gremlin.
3-year-old kid. Yeah. Oh no, not close to that, but this thing was massive. And so you can't even call it a carp, because it still looks like a goldfish. The thing was bright orange, big old things coming off the sides of its face. Forgot where it was, but it was on the news tonight.
I don't know. Some mutant goldfish.
Yeah, when you go to those yearly Midnight Madness town-wide sales, and you go into the hardware store and they give you that free goldfish, kid just walks by and tosses it in the pond next to David's house there by the park. Probably a few mutant goldfish in that thing.
Yeah. I suppose we should wrap things up.
Which is
I'm all out of dad jokes.
Which is what a lot of people do with fish, don't they? Wrap it in like newspaper or
The
put it
woodchuck.
in somebody's bed or something. So
Put it
Yeah.
under his bed.
I know Hawaiians will wrap it up and
Yeah, that's
leave.
what the fish fairy does.
Okay.
You lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow. The
isn't it like
fairy comes and brings you a tuna.
isn't it a sign from like the mob or something? Like if you open up something and you get a fish, wrapped up fish in the mail or something, and it's like a warning.
I thought that was a horse head in your bed.
You sleep with the
You sleep with the fishes.
Fishes.
Yeah, whatever. I just wanted to get that woodchuck thing because they wrap up fish. I don't know. I'm not a fisherman.
Are you a man fish?
I am man fish with blue balls. That's how I'm anyway.
Little blue balls, they might be caviar.
Actually, we should end on those buns here.
You should end on the end.
Tell them, Steve Dave.
Yeah.
Wait. Now I don't forget what episode this is.
Of course.
Yeah, I get to go see if any artist or writer of comic books has contacted me while we were talking. It's like, thanks to Anthony, for some reason I'm talking to writers and artists more than I talk to normal people lately.
Yeah, they're better people if you ask me. So
Yeah, I'm having fun. Hopefully, I'll be bringing some goodies to the comic club.
interesting.
Yeah, you guys have a good night.
You too. Take it easy.
Talk to you later.
All right, we'll talk to you maybe Saturday.
Seriously, I think that's like some sort of sign of like if you get your mail or something and you open it up and it's a dead fish, and it's like a warning of just like, oh shit, I've been made.
It might be. I'd be a little concerned if I got the mail. I'm like, Bill. Oh, dead fish.
Unless you were on the game show Wheel of Fish, and you just got one of your prizes in the mail. So,
That could be.
oh, red snapper, so bad. What's so awesome at the Weird Al concerts because they'll play either Weird Al show clips or UHF clips while he's doing costume changes and all that kind of stuff. So the show is just constantly going. There's never a moment that you're just sitting there or whatever. It's nonstop greatness, and they'll play that clip, that whole scene of pick what's in the box or nothing, absolutely nothing. But like during that whole thing, even the all red snapper thing, the entire audience is all just repeating it back and stuff. So it's crazy to be in a crowd of, that many people and everyone's just like, oh, red snapper. Stupid. Yeah. Anyway.
Ma,
What?
you're live.
Be alive. He's on.
You're
the
live?
podcast.
I'm on podcast right now. I shouldn't have to keep repeating this because it's being recorded,